Hi everybody, Laura here. So glad you're joining me today. I'm excited to be a part of this STAMPtember blog hop with Simon Says Stamp. It's the best month of the year for us crazy card makers. I've got several projects to share with you, but first I want to talk about some new products. I am giddy over this new stuff. It's stuff that I designed, so I'm trying to contain my excitement. It's all centered around this grid background cling. So you have the Grid Play stamp set that has all these fun geometric images that can be stamped and they're sized to fit in the grid, as well as the Grid Play stencil that you can use. They're fit sized for the grid, and 1,000,001 geometric design possibilities here. And then if that wasn't enough, we have a grid alpha, and each one of these letters fits inside that square, a square on the grid. I know. Here's the Live Well stamp set. Now I got the idea from that famous quote, live well, love often, laugh much, and then I would say eat Italian. But a lot of different ways you can combine all these sentiments. Love you, sending hugs, and then there's a few little fun geometric images that go along with it. So let's dive in. I'm going to show you a few fun ways to use this grid collection. So I took that mat out of my Misty. This way I can use this background cling stamp because it's kind of thicker. And it fits great when you take out the mat on the Misty. So I've got some Nina Solar White cardstock, and I'm buttoning everything down into the bottom right corner. I'm not using any of the magnets for the Misty. You don't need it as long as you butt everything down into the corner. And then I'll ink up my grid background cling with the color Barely Beige by Simon Says Stamp. It's fantastic with this grid background. I just love a soft, neutral grid background, something about it. And then I'm going to do a few grids. Well, I got this out and I got it mounted on the Misty. Now this one I'm going to emboss and clear. So again, I've got Nina Solar White cardstock, rub it down with my magic powder bag. I'm inking up the background with Versamark ink. I'll stamp that again, making sure everything's butted into the corner. And then I'll pour on some clear, this is Simon Says Stamp clear embossing powder. I like to use just a scratched piece of cardstock to pour my embossing powder. This time I'm using vellum. Works really good to funnel back into the embossing container. And I got to keep my embossing powders in the container they come in because I have very little storage space. So it works good for me funneling it back in. Plus it gives you lots of room to pour it. You know, when you pour that embossing powder, you can kind of get it all over the place. Well, when you have a nice big piece of vellum or cardstock, you got lots of room to just pour it, baby. So we got 3 different backgrounds. Now here I'm going to start stamping a design using the Grid Play stamp set. I chose the big jumbo circle here. Going to create a fun overlapping, colorful design, starting with MALIBLUE. Now, this Grid Play stamp set, I mean, I'm not even joking when I say 1,000,001 design possibilities. And they're all geometric, which is right up my alley. I hope it is yours too. I know a lot of people love florals, and I do too. A lot of people love really cutesy critters and animals, and I do too. But I got to say, geometric just makes my heart go pitter-patter. Something about the clean, the precision of it all. And okay, so this is what's great about the Misty. What I do is instead of moving the stamp every time, I just slide my cardstock over. Now I don't have an exact measurement of how much I slide it. I kind of just move it and then I flip the arm over and I eyeball it until it seems like it's right and it's fitting within that grid background that I have already stamped. So I'm using these same colors again. I've got MALIBLUE, SCUBA, High Dive, and Deep Sea. And I just keep stamping these same colors over and over again. Look at this. It's so dreamy. I fast forwarded. You can see I didn't show all of it, but you get the idea. You just stamp and you stamp and you stamp some more. And I love how it turned out. Now, I'm going to show you the stencil, the Grid Play stencil. This is exciting because I love ink blending. It's my favorite thing. So now I'm going with a different color scheme. I'm starting with lemon chiffon and I'm using the big triangle. I'm actually going to use both sizes of triangles. First I'm starting with the big one and then I'll go in with the smaller one. So now I'm using Melon ink, and this is the background that I embossed in clear. So this is going to be a great emboss resist design. You got the grid as well as the overlapping triangles. So we got lemon chiffon, melon, hollyhock, and wait for it. Ha, mama! And then look at that. Now I'm going to go back in, as if that wasn't enough, with the smaller triangle and go right in the center of each of the larger triangles. I'm using the same colors, just going a little bit darker, a little more heavy-handed, if you will. And oh my gosh, wait till you see how it turns out. I mean, I can't. Something about it just gets me. What can I say? Look at that. Now, I didn't really clean off my stencil as I went from the lemon to the melon to the hollyhock. I just went one after the other. But now when I start over a new row, after getting Hot Mama on there and you're going back into the lemon chiffon, you really want to make sure your stencil's clean. Okay, so one more background using the grid alphas. And now this is so fun. So fun. You can do anything under the sun you can think of. A funny sentiment, a funny quote. You want to personalize it with someone's name. I mean, any occasion. And so I decided to do You Make Me Smile, because I just like to send cards like this to people, kind of unexpected, and just to tell them that they make me smile. So I got 3 backgrounds. Now we're going to turn them into cards. Got some gold thread that I made a little loosey-goosey nest here. And I went ahead and embossed a few sentiments from the Live Well. That's the hello and the hugs. I embossed those in white onto a black strip. Adding a few little sequins from the new Pixie Dust collection. Beautiful sequin colors there. And then now for this one, popping up the hug sentiment. That was from the Live Well stamp set. And then a few little Nouveau jewel drops here and there in coordinating colors. If you don't know what to do, add a few Nouveau jewel drops and it will just finish it off. Now, something fun for this final one. What I did was I took a piece of acetate and I stitched it right over the top of that panel. I left the top open, and I'm going to add some of these little iridescent star, is it like confetti? This is Pretty Pink Posh. I believe it's called iridescent star confetti. And I put in a little bit of that, just a little bit, and then I stitched the top so it's all sewn and none of the stars are going to fall out. Popped it up on a white card base, bada boom, bada bing. Look, 3 cards. I hope I've shown you a few ways you can use this grid collection, although I don't think I've scratched the surface of the possibilities. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your blog hop. Make sure and check out the STAMPtember release by Simon Says Stamp. You're going to love it. And happy STAMPtember to you and yours. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.